Three unqualified morons with microphones. This is the previously recorded podcast. All right, welcome to Previously Recorded. I am your host, the Pizza King of the Northeast, and welcome to this episode of Previously Recorded. It's brought to you by our Redbubble shop, where you can get tons of our merchandise. It shows hats, but if you click on that and click in some more, you can see a bunch of different options, magnet stickers, throw that bad boy on random people's cars, or get yourself a Gateway Gamers logo as well. It's on there. But check it out.
If you need a sticker or maybe a hat,
go to Redbubble and see where it's at. Oh, I like that. Go to redbubble.com/previous-pre-rec.
I don't like any of this.
We'll workshop that.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are supposed to join in midway.
I didn't know what the lyrics were.
Pop, you're doing the lag thing that I usually do.
Because you made up a song. How do you want me to know what the song is?
This is all made up, Bob.
All right. So joining us today on this spectacular episode of Previously Recorded are my two co-hosts, the King of Nothing and the King of
Hallmark.
King of Hallmark. That's it. Joining us as well as the King of Games, Marvel. Welcome back to the podcast, man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Aside from being confused about all this king shit.
Yes. Along with the rest of our listeners as well. But how's everybody doing?
Ready to finish up our Halloween Town discussion.
Yeah, that's what we're really here for.
That's what we are here for.
Yes, I was there for that.
J.K. Rowling stole Halloween.
She did.
And Halloween. She stole Halloween.
But how's everybody doing? Are we feeling amazing?
I mean, since the last episode, I'm good.
I wanted you to do a lot of alliteration in the intro, like J. Jonah Jameson.
I got nothing.
All right.
I got nothing.
I want you to keep that.
Edit out that pause.
I want you to keep that dead air. More importantly, I want that dead air on the recording.
As you can tell from our episode title today, we are here to talk about Spider-Man: No Way Home. So just like we said a couple of episodes ago, we were going to wait, but we are recording this on Sunday, December 19th, after we've all seen Spider-Man.
In RP's case, he's seen it 4 times.
I've seen it 3 times because we're coming on off of the 3rd time. Bob has seen it twice. Shane has seen it once. Marvel has also seen it once, but basically saw the entire movie before it fucking even came out anyway.
Yep. And read every script leading up to it. So
yeah, so
Marvel's the king of spoilers.
He is. He's the king of spoilers. That's it.
I don't like to be a surprise.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't like to be surprised. I love to be surprised when it comes to these movies. This is what we love. If you haven't seen this movie yet, why the fuck are you listening to this? If you're unless you're like Marvel, you want to hear spoilers, this entire episode will be all spoilers. We're 3 weeks after the movie came out, plenty of time to go to the theater. But most of you have probably already seen it, considering this is the 3rd highest opening box office movie of all time domestically. And I think it was number 3 internationally as well, coming in with $253 million. 4 mil behind Avengers Endgame, which I do think tomorrow when the actual numbers come in, it'll be a little bit higher because every theater was
this is tomorrow in our time, not tomorrow and when this episode comes out.
Yes, tomorrow in our time.
December 20th.
Yes, December 20th. I do think that.
So they haven't fully recorded today.
Well, they do estimates, and based off of yesterday and today, it allows them to project.
Honestly, were there any open seats in your theater when you saw it?
When I saw it the first time, no, we saw it because I saw it night.
I saw it 5:30 on Thursday night, and there was some open seats in the theater.
Yeah,
that could also be like people bought tickets and something happened, they couldn't go.
Maybe.
Like that.
Yeah,
I mean, there were quite a few open seats.
We went premium format. We went Dolby, which is where a lot of people are going back to movie theaters. Like you're laughing, Marvel, but it is that the percentage of ticket sales for IMAX and Dolby, mainly IMAX, were really, really high. So when I went and saw it again on Saturday, we did do IMAX, and it was completely sold out. Audra said she liked it better actually than when she initially saw it with Shane.
What did you guys see?
She saw it with me like a peasant.
Yeah, like a peasant.
Like
she said you guys sat in the back in the last row.
Yeah, that's where I like to sit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like to sit in the middle.
No, I don't like to sit too close to the screen. I like to be able to see it all.
Interesting. Marvel, where do you like to sit?
If I can pick, I always pick the back row.
I guess the middle too. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I don't have
assume
like
middle
a
'cause-
preference.
I know
also-
that's where you.
I don't
like.
I don't like people making noise and having their fucking phones behind me.
And
What
clapping.
do you want?
No, I don't like people behind. I don't like
Wouldn't you
people
want
being.
the phone behind you instead of in front of you?
Nah, because I'm pretty sure somebody in my row was taking pictures of the screen
Yeah.
every time Andrew and Toby were on the screen.
Whoa.
Hey!
Because someone's phone kept flashing.
Okay.
Andrew and Toby.
pretty
are
sure they were
two
taking
new
pictures of the
characters
screen.
in this
Yeah.
film.
So when I saw it for the second time, there was like the guy next to me was like, he definitely saw it because he had his phone ready and he was cackling like a little kid, but he was taking like video, basically the entire video of Aunt May dying.
Yeah.
He's just taking a video of it the entire
Whoa.
time.
Giggling?
Yeah, no, not giggling at that point.
God,
but
what a
There was-
sick
there was
fan.
also somebody I really wanted to fight, which later I found out was a little girl who had light up shoes. I thought it was someone's phone, but then I see this girl walking out of the theater and like her shoes are lighting up the whole way out. I'm
This
like,
is-
oh,
this is
that
the
was
king
her.
of Hallmark movies.
Still
King of
wanted to
Hallmark.
fight her,
I
right?
still wanted to fight her.
Yeah.
She ruined my movie experience.
So I think before we get into the film itself, we can talk about our theater experiences. Bob, Marvel, and I shared the same theater
For opening night.
yeah, and they had a very, I'm not gonna say very strong opinion, but you had a very different experience than what I experienced. You guys want to talk about it a little bit about how infuriating it was that people were clapping at the worst
My
shit ever?
hatred of clapping.
People are stupid.
I
Mhm.
enjoy clapping at like points. Like there obviously when like Toby or Andrew like came through. All right, that's a nice clap.
If that's all that
Moment.
they had clapped at, I think I would have been fine.
But like they were
by that point, they
clapping,
clapped it so much that I even got mad about that.
they were clapping stuff they were showing in the trailer.
They just were clapping at everything.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
Spider-Man was wearing a Spider-Man costume. They're like,
Mhm.
oh my God. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
It
Or
was
like
so-
Doc Ock showed up. What's that, 20 minutes into the movie? Something like that.
At the exact scene from the trailer, people are fucking
Exactly.
clapping.
They were
It was
losing their minds.
ridiculous.
And then Green Goblin shows up. The exact scene from the trailer. People are losing their minds again.
But I
Yeah.
I hate that kind of stuff in general because even like the plane lands and people clap.
Mhm.
I'm like, what
Yeah, I hate
what are they
that too.
clapping for?
At least when the plane lands, the pilot is there to hear.
Yeah.
the clap.
I guess, yeah.
Like no one is in that theater
Andrew and Toby may have come through portals, but they're not coming
Yeah.
through portals to our movie
unless you're
theater.
just clapping like out of like you can't control your body. And you're just like, oh, like you're just happy for yourself.
You're so excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hate it. I will.
Which is what RP did.
Yeah. So I become really desensitized to it. I don't know why it doesn't. I used to bother the shit out of me because I thought it was so dumb, and I don't know why. I don't know if I was so wrapped up in it, but I did clap, and I explained it like this. Basically, I knew it was coming, but I felt like a wind up monkey toy, and I just couldn't stop. Like I literally clapped like.
Yeah, but not
Like
at,
I
like,
had to, I felt myself holding
Like, it
myself
was your
back.
body though. Like you were
Yeah.
just that excited. which
To-
is
when-
fun.
and it wasn't the
Toby
trailer moments. Yeah, it was
No.
exciting
stuff that you
moments.
did not know
Yes.
for sure was going to
See,
happen.
I had that, but I would just grab the seat really hard.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
when Matt's cane hit the
Well,
ground.
that's the scene where RP clapped.
Yeah.
No, I clapped
thought-
at Toby. What
I
happened with
thought you
Murdoch,
clapped for Matt Murdock.
which is funny because I actually had it spoiled for me that he was in the movie.
Was that the YouTube thing?
No, the YouTube thing was them all hugging, but I only saw Andrew. And I kind of knew Andrew was in the movie. But Murdoch, I saw him sit at the table, but I wasn't expecting it that soon, that quick. It still shocked me. He's one of my favorite superheroes. And I literally lost my breath. I went and grabbed Duke
It's like,
and my dad. And I grabbed him.
Duke
and
top too though.
Duke did too. He-
pop for that?
yeah, he's like,
Mhm.
I'm good. I'm good. I don't need anything else.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm happy that we went with Duke.
Yeah,
I
me
think the only I've seen some movies with Duke. The last movie I saw with Duke was Suicide Squad, though.
Yeah, that's
So it was
a
a
bad.
bad.
So
bad
he said,
situation.
I texted him the next day, our buddy Duke, who
He's
really,
been on
yeah, he was on our
Yeah.
Star Wars episode. And he was just like, movies are about experiences. And that was a really good experience to share with you guys. And I was like, I love that you came. It was a great, despite the clapping, this was a great theater experience movie. I'm really glad we experienced it all together,
Minus Shane.
minus Shane. But there were
Well-
some ridiculous theater reactions on people standing up. If somebody stood
I
up
would
and
have lost
clapped,
my mind.
I would have
I would've-
probably beat
yeah.
somebody up.
Well, so
But-
it's a funny story about our theater experience. Go ahead, Shane. and I'll-
Well, I would have said I would have had the opposite reaction of you guys at the Billy Joel concert where they told you you had to sit down.
Oh yeah.
I would have been,
It's the
yeah,
Eagles, wasn't
I
it?
would have been putting
Yeah.
people in their seats. Like you're not, I paid
Yeah,
money
you're
for
not
this. You're
fucking
not going to
saying
stand in front of
It's
me.
ridiculous. I don't care how excited you are. It's a movie.
So there's
Yeah.
there's a dad probably like 5 seats down from us. He was sitting next to Bill, that guy,
Oh
who
yeah.
apparently was
Yeah.
just like popping for everything. But
Yeah.
we walked in, and the screen, like the top
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
eighth of the screen,
It's a different shade of
was
color.
like a different shade, so it was like a clear like line, and like the trailers start, and like you could see RP's face was like, we have to get to the bottom of this. Like we have to. And I didn't even notice it until like one. You know how like the green screen comes up before each trailer, like that was like
that's when that's
clearly
how I
noticeable,
noticed
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And that guy who was like popping, the dad who was popping for everything, like was like standing up. Like,
He was the fuck. Yeah,
like,
he was
like
out. Dude.
frustrated. Like, all right, we have to figure this out because it wasn't like I don't even think the lights were down completely yet.
No,
like,
they
because
weren't.
you could, and nobody was like freaking out. Like it was like the beginning. It might not have even been a trailer. It might have just been like
It
the-
was because it was going
It
on
was the
during the
trailers.
Kingston trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then like he walked out and like, I guess said something to somebody. Did you say anything?
Yeah, because I went
You
out
went to the bathroom,
like for the first of 4 times before the movie started. eh,
forcing everything out of his body.
there's so many weird things about me that that
One of the fun fact about RP that I don't know that we've ever mentioned on the podcast is that he will go to the bathroom during the trailers in
And
every movie.
Get back before the
and
trailer's done.
he's there for all of 6 seconds. Like it's insane.
It is
And his
amazing.
hands will be bone dry, which is very suspicious.
oh yeah, no way. No,
That
I don't
is-
waste that time.
But it's like it's legitimately impressive how fast he can go to the bathroom.
Oh,
at a movie
I've
theater.
already deemed him the fastest.
The
he's
king
he's the
of-
king of pissing in the Northeast.
When it comes to Marvel movies, I don't want to miss a second. So I have a terrible bladder.
It's like we've seen enough movies together where like I just sit there and like try to guess which trailer he'll go for.
So I typically try to plan it accurately, but I did go out and the guy, because Duke was there, happened to be there too. So I waited for him. So while I was
Because he
waiting
was
for
just
him,
getting there, right? Dude got
Yeah,
there late.
so I was like, hey, somebody talked to you about this? He's like, yeah, they're fixing it. So I said, okay.
and they fixed it like
And I
it didn't
stood there
affect anything.
until he confirmed to me. I'm just kidding. though.
Yeah,
But then
RP
that dude came back and we all clapped for him. Like,
Yeah,
legit.
everybody clapped for him.
RP had the guy by the collar.
So we all had different theater
Listen to me,
experiences.
little minimum wage fuck.
Hey, I've been in that role. I worked for the movies. I understand it. So we all had different theater experiences, which I hope we righted the wrong today, Bob.
Yeah,
My
I
bad
went and saw it.
My people were clapping a lot.
Yeah,
So
which
There's
I
definitely
knew.
a lot of dialogue that I missed.
Yeah, which I knew.
That was
we knew
that, that's
was
what
coming.
frustrates
A lot
me.
of,
Like,
lot of hooting and hollering
I'm
going on.
missing stuff. So like our theater was rambunctious, I would say, and then today
A lot of rabble rousers.
Yeah, a lot of ne'er do wells in that theater for sure. Today we saw it, and it was actually like we went for a kid's 5th birthday.
It was
and
a
they
private
were
theater.
not as I expected just for me to be tuning out 5-year-olds the whole time,
Yeah,
and
they were good.
they were fine.
I love the one part Moose just goes, Doc Ock. And as I turned around, I was like, that's awesome.
It's like, Moose, did you not see the trailer? You idiot?
Yeah. Yeah. So we all had different theater experiences for this movie. And this is definitely a theater experience movie. So people are going out. This is an event, but kind of off the cuff.
Well, real fast, just because you brought up the Moose thing, the best Moose line was at the very end of the movie.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the initial trailers come on, and like Moose has seen enough of these that he knows that there's like the end credit scenes. And so RP like turns around because we were the row in front of him, and he's like, Moose, what'd you think? And he goes, well, it's not over yet. Because he knew there was gonna be like an end credit scene. And it's just a 5-year-old putting RP in his place. It's really funny to me.
So I'll kind of right off, like shooting from the hip. What's your initial thoughts on this movie? We've had some time to sit with it too. If you're like me, you spend an entire workday seeing it this weekend because I saw it 3 times. Lengthy movie. But Shane, what was your initial thought of Spider-Man and your reaction to this movie, the moments of the movie, the highs, the lows?
Everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
There was nothing, no, not even like some subtle joke that I wanted them to throw in there. Like I was really hoping they were going to joke about Tobey Maguire's webs
Mhm.
coming right out of his hand,
Mhm.
and they did.
Mhm.
They even did the Spider-Man like pointing at each other meme. Everything I wanted this movie to be, it was.
Mhm.
I don't know. We'll give Willem Dafoe the Oscar because he was fucking amazing.
He was really good.
I don't know. Like He's due for one. He's been nominated a few
I
times.
don't think
Give that man
He's
an
not
Oscar.
get- he's not
Give that
gonna
man an
get
Oscar.
Spider-Man.
for this movie.
They teetered the
If
line.
Willem Dafoe doesn't get an Oscar, I'll kill myself on live TV.
Stop saying that.
They teetered the line of fan service, which a podcast
they
I listened
did.
to said it's the Rise of Skywalker line, where it's either you go the Rise of Skywalker route or you do it better and well where it works.
Mm.
And I felt that this movie
It
worked.
was a lot of fan service, but it all made sense in
Mhm.
the movie.
It was
It was nothing unnecessary.
Sure. I mean, you could argue that. Of course, there is unnecessary stuff, but everything was really fun. It was. Done
I would
well.
say not necessarily unnecessary. Nothing that like was just
Blatant.
yeah, just like hey, let me find a reason to put this
Yeah,
in
like-
there. Like
hey,
everything felt
Yeah. Some
natural.
idiot. Some
Nothing was
idiot.
forced.
Some
I guess
idiot
is
on
the way.
Twitter said he wanted
Yeah,
this, and
nothing
it got a
felt-
lot of traction.
nothing
So let's
felt
throw it in there.
forced.
Yeah. So Marvel, you said you have some thoughts on this movie. What do you think?
I thought it was fine. Like, I don't know. And this is something I come out walking into the theater for every Spider-Man MCU movie for some reason. Like when I saw Homecoming, it was around the same time that I saw Wonder Woman. And I was like, oh, Wonder Woman was better. Like, I don't know. I always had like a weird like initial reaction to these MCU Spider movies.
Is it because he's your favorite?
Maybe. And it's just he's been done so much.
Mhm.
And then after I watch him again a couple times, like a few months out, I'm like, oh, that was good. Because even as much as I loved, what was the last one? They're all called Home. So
Far from home.
Far from.
Far From Home. Like I remember walking out of theater, I was like, oh, I like that. It was good. And then I rewatched it. I was like, oh, that's a really good movie. So I think in a couple months, when I rewatch it, I'm gonna be like, all right, that was a really good movie.
I agree because I think it was Nick, who producer Nick, who threw it in our group chat. He's like, "Where does this rank
Mm.
in
Oh.
our tier of
Yeah.
Marvel?" I'm like, "I've only seen it once. I can't give
And
you a
it's
fair."
fresh. I've seen
Yeah.
it once and I just saw it.
I mean,
so
we
it's like,
walked out of the Last Jedi thinking it was amazing.
We did. We thought it was good.
I don't know about a B.
It was fresh, so I can't
Darth
fairly.
Vader
we
came
weren't
back.
we weren't
There's a
angry.
Star
I'll put
Wars
it that
movie,
Yeah,
way.
I
yeah.
can't
We
fairly
weren't
rank this movie for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I had some problems with it, but then, like you guys said, it's definitely fan service.
Mhm.
I think my biggest problem, and I talked to you about it, was it's been done already with Spider-Verse. If Spider-Verse didn't come out and we didn't get these like multiple Spider-Mans in one movie, I think I'd be more pumped for this.
Sure. And you could, it's possible to argue that because of the success of Spider-Verse, it's the only reason we
Mhm.
got this movie. I don't know. I really don't know. But Bob, what was your initial reaction to the movie besides being angry at the crowd?
I was angry at the people that night. I sat next to Marvel, so like he heard me just like huffing and puffing whenever they would,
We're huffing and puffing together.
yeah, whenever they would cheer, I was like, oh. Or like we'd lean over and like he'd be like, "This was in the fucking trailer." Like we were saying shit to each other about it, but no, it's good. Same thing. Like Nick wants to know where it ranks, and I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question because like
I'd have to see. I'd have to see it. Every other Marvel movie I've seen.
And so like
4 or
today
5
I watched it
times.
for the second time today, and there were things that I like picked up and things that like I wasn't, because like you can sit there and watch it like differently because you know how it ends. You're not just
Mhm.
trying to follow a plot. Like you can look for other things, and I liked it a lot better today than I did. Like I enjoyed it, so I think it's going to be one of those top tier movies. I just wish, and I know that this is like impossible in today's
Yeah.
society, but like just the idea, like imagine all of these things happen and you had no idea that they were going to happen.
Yeah. No.
Like you're like people hadn't been asking or saying that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be in this movie for the last 6 months. You didn't know Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe are going to be in these movies for the last however long. Like
Andrew
how
Garfield
crazy
must
that
have
would've been.
such a sigh of relief right now because
Yeah, I
he's
know.
been getting
that poor dude was
Bull-
trying to
he's been
fucking
getting
promote
bullied.
TikTok.
promote that. Yeah, promote his movie on Netflix.
Marvel fans have been bullying that man.
Oh, it's the interviewers.
I was a big Andrew Garfield fan in this.
Mhm. Yeah, I really like him.
Well, there you sent us something earlier about how he said that he would.
Oh,
He told Marvel he would be in any Spider-Man movie they want.
yeah, he loves it. He
And
loves
I told you he said that he would like to do a movie where he's like mentoring a young Miles. I would love like a Disney Plus series on that.
That'll never hit Disney Plus. That's Sony. So
Yeah,
it's got it.
sucks.
Sony doesn't have a deal. It would have to, if it was a show, it'd have to probably, I don't fucking know.
Sony, if you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's still, even though I've seen it 3 times, it's still fresh. I'm not gonna judge it.
Well, you've seen it 3 times in the last 4 days. So it's-
so I know that there's a point in the movie I actually don't enjoy because it's the point I pick to go to the pisser every time is when they're back at the apartment.
That's when I pissed today.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that part of the movie is so silly. It works. It works, but like to
too
get
much-
them to all just come with you, like kind of willingly, nobody's got like
Yeah.
handcuffs or anything.
Yeah.
Super trusting, which is Peter, sure. But that's like the scene where I'm like, okay, like let's get through this, and then the movie swings, no pun intended, swings
And
into its climax.
Electro, of all people who we know is going to be the main
He stunk.
catalyst. he's waiting until the thing's almost fully charged
Yeah.
to finally
I-
take it off.
I
And
liked
the
his
lizard's
powers.
just hanging out. The lizard's just in a van hanging
In a
out.
van
Yeah.
by
Like,
himself. Yeah.
yeah.
Just waiting to rip the side
That
off.
part that's where it was like the goofiest to me.
Yeah,
Like I feel like where I was just like, why are they going with him? Like what?
Yeah.
Like I know you're in a different reality, and like you all talked about how you died.
Well,
I mean,
I
they
guess they were trying to save.
They
were trying to
explain it well because like the concept is if they don't go with him, then they're gonna go back to their realities and die for
Well,
sure.
and they all know that
And like
MJ
Lizard
MJ
says-
has the box and she'll hit it
Sure.
Yeah.
if
And
Peter
if it goes
doesn't
wrong.
report to her.
So like it's not. You're right. Like it doesn't make
yeah,
a lot of
it's
sense.
not
but, like,
improbable, but
they do try to explain it to at least justify.
yeah, it's like if you don't come with us, you're dead.
Mhm.
But I love this movie. It's fan service done well, done right, and it's everything we wanted to see.
Have you
Seeing
seen any bad reactions?
I haven't read Rotten Tomatoes. I haven't read because it's
Let's see.
95. I haven't seen the negative ones, the rotten
it's
ones.
all the
when
Zack
this-
Snyder fans.
Yeah, when
That's
this
what I'm kind of curious to see what people say.
when this I actually
I
got
think
called a
it's probably
Snyder
better
fan today.
to look for like Twitter comments.
You got called a Snyder fan.
I was disagreeing with my friend who was saying that he's worried that Marvel's reshoots for Doctor Strange and that he trusts Raimi. And I was like, right now there's no reason to not trust Marvel. And
Mhm.
then I was like, but you're right, I don't agree with you, so I'm wrong. You're going to continue to prove your point to me. And he's like, stop it, you're being like a Snyder fan. And I was like, really? But I did. I love this movie. I think it's 9.5 out of 10 if you're going to give it that way. Like just from initial reaction, a lot of fan service done right. Great moments, great character moments between them. A lot of moments when I giggled a lot and I laughed, and then a lot of surprises. Even though I knew they were coming, I was still really, really surprised. My
There was-
reaction was still
There was a second there I
Really?
thought they might not actually do Andrew and Toby. I thought because it felt like they were kind of setting up Peter, Doc Ock, and Sandman versus the rest of them.
Hmm.
For like a second, I thought they weren't, and then Ned was doing the thing. And it,
Sandman
like,
felt entirely useless.
yeah.
Yep, Salmon and
Really-
Lizard were
he didn't really do
just,
They
anything.
just
not
did
supposed to
that.
be there.
And so it's interesting you say that. Those are the two that I don't believe were actually ever on set. I
No,
think
they definitely weren't.
They
100%
weren't because
not.
the
they were
footage,
CGI'd the whole time.
and then the footage of them being themselves is from
Was used footage. Yep.
was from their
Yeah.
movies.
Really?
So I think they just did it from their homes. They did the
The
voice,
voices.
which he even the lizard sounded different to
So
me.
here's it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was the same voice actor.
Yeah,
Matt-
it sounded like I don't know. It sounded like more like a cartoon character, like the way that he was speaking.
Matthew Lucas from the front row is an actual critic, and then I'll find
Mhm.
like some audience reviews. Fails as both a film and a piece of storytelling because in its desperation to give its villains a second chance, it reveals that it has nothing new or interesting to add to their stories. That's the only on this page. I'm not going clicking through all. That's a
I can see that. I agree with that.
Sure, but
No, I
our
don't
buddy,
agree with that at all.
our buddy Shank said that there was no point to the
and
movie.
well,
which-
that wasn't what he was saying. So Shanks at the end of the movie leans over to me and goes, "So all of that was a waste of time." And I was
Yeah,
like,
they're all dead. They're all
Yeah,
fucked when they go
yeah,
back.
kind of.
Because Doc Ock, even though he turns normal, if he was saying the point where he had Peter by the neck, that was when he turned good anyway in the movie,
well,
and he had to still grab the reactor and sink into the water.
well, there's two things. Sure, that could be the case. We don't know how the multiverse, when you pop up and pop back, how that works. I would assume.
But
it's
I
not-
do, and that's what happens.
No, it's yeah, maybe that's it. But that's what Tom Holland's Peter says. When
Mhm.
you might get the opportunity to go a different route, like, but if they pop them back where they came from, sure.
Yeah, TVA is just gonna take them out.
Yeah. What was probably your favorite scene?
Well, he just mentioned the TVA. At any point, did you expect like any Loki characters to pop up when like
No.
the timeline looked like it was
No.
like ripping?
That would have been so much.
They're still like not fully embracing the multiverse yet. Like it's real and it's there,
I
but
also
like
think that they're afraid of the TV shows. I think that they don't want to
Well,
incorporate them
Too much
into the
crossover.
the spoiler at the end, you know, the teaser for Strange 2 is the first Marvel property to reference
TV show.
a TV show, which is when he talks about Westview.
So here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
here's a 2-star rating from a fan. 30 minutes ago too. Story premise was ridiculous and too much talking. Cool to see everyone, however.
I like the talking. It was good character
I
interaction.
like too much talking in the movie.
Just
I didn't know I was gonna have
strictly
to hear all this dialogue when I went to this
Too
film.
much talking.
Part of the Strange reshoots too is trying to figure out how to acknowledge the Disney Plus shows while
Not forcing.
not also for people who haven't seen them to know what's going on. Which
Well,
I
is
think
that
you
the
gotta
what
just
if?
buy in.
Is that the what if Doctor Strange? Like you
Yeah,
think?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like that's
Seems
cool.
that way.
yeah, very
if
cool.
It is.
What were you saying? Winslow?
Person gave 1 star. Says I didn't watch the movie because of a fire drill at Regal. Why are you ranking the movie with 1 star if you didn't see it?
Well, that's those dickheads on like Amazon. They're like 1 star came broken. No, it's like
Yeah.
you're not
He
reviewing
thought he
the
was. He
product.
thought he was ranking Regal theaters.
I'm just finding anything that's like under 2 stars, or if it's 2 stars or lower. And not read them out.
So, what was your Marvel? What was your probably your favorite moment of the movie?
I think when they were all like kind of swinging together, I think that's like an obvious moment, and then when they all land. But without going there, when he was fucking fighting a goblin, how fucking cool was the Green Goblin?
Yeah,
Like he's clobbering him in the face, and every punch, his grin is just getting bigger. Like,
I said that before we started
what
recording.
a fucking nut job.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, the scene with his spider sense, where he knows something's up.
Perfect
was
spider
so-
sense in this
so
movie.
good.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, when
the-
you
the
and I
one-
talked about it, when
Yeah.
he
The
was out
one
of his
line-
body.
The one line from Electro I really like, where he's like, "What you looking at me for?"
Yeah, when he's out of his body and you see the wiggly lines around his
Yeah,
head.
like in the
it's very
comics,
cool.
that was awesome.
Mhm. And I guess that was his spider sense reacting when Strange was
'Cause he
trying to
couldn't, yeah.
grab the box. Very, very cool. Everything between them two. I mean, this movie had my 3 favorite characters in it. It's Strange, Spider-Man, and Daredevil. That alone could give me reason. You know, of course, obviously you could argue like, what about the Avengers? But this isn't an Avengers movie. It's a Spider-Man movie. And they were all really, really well done. I love just everything about the characters. I really enjoyed. My favorite moment though is probably it's between. I love that swinging moment because I get goosebumps. But probably the
Mhm.
rooftop scene with the 3 of them, kind of like revealing they've all been through the same sort of ordeal and just hitting those emotional moments. Like Ben said, you know, the great power comes with great responsibility. I think that was probably my favorite moment aside from Charlie Cox showing up.
Mhm.
Bobby?
Yeah, when Garfield grabbed MJ too, and he broke down like that, even though we all saw coming, like Andrew Garfield acted his ass off, and that's
Yeah, I was
was
gonna
great
say
in this
Andrew
movie.
Garfield. I think was my favorite part of the movie. Like when
he was
talks-
lonely, dude. It
I
goes to
know.
show like how lonely his character becomes.
He talks about like the rage, and I think it was
Mhm.
Andrew Garfield. Like then the scene with Gwen, or not with Gwen, like the
MJ.
Gwen redemption with MJ. And then I liked just like the conversations. Like once they were in the movie, I think I said on the podcast, and I said to other people, like, I didn't need them in the movie. I said that before. I don't need to have all 3 of them in a movie together. Like once they were all there, it was better than I would have ever probably expected. Like their interactions with each other and like the way that they like the conversations, like Shane said, them talking about like the webbing inside, or I was saying earlier when they were talking about the villains, and then Andrew Garfield's like, "Oh, I'm lame," and he's like, "No, you're amazing.
That's a
You're
great scene.
amazing."
Just,
And they like really drive that home.
Mhm.
And then I like,
I think he's like, I want to fight an alien.
oh, I want to go back to the fact that you were in
yeah,
space.
yes.
How
Yeah.
about when he's like, guys, I don't mean to brag, but I'm an Avenger.
Avenger.
They're like,
Yeah.
cool.
This is
What's
cool.
that?
You would have banged?
Yeah, I liked when Toby was like, "That's awesome.
What is that? What is that?
But then so like I think my favorite scenes is when he's saying goodbye to everybody.
Yeah,
Like it was just like Tom Holland is really good at those scenes.
Mhm.
Like it goes back to like Infinity War, like the
yeah.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good thing.
Who do you think's better at tugging at the heartstrings, Toby or not Toby, Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield?
Andrew Garfield acted better.
He's,
Like I think
he's
Andrew
a better
Garfield,
actor,
Andrew
phenomenal
Garfield,
actor.
like the tears and like when he was holding MJ and
Yeah.
he just like broke down immediately.
I
But,
liked
like-
when Tom said to him, "Don't tell me what you're going through or what you
Yeah,
can
don't
relate."
tell
And
me
he was
you
like,
can't.
and he was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
Like,
like there's
really
nothing
like
I can
that
do
too.
here, or like I'm not going to try to do that
Mhm.
to you. But then like so like when Tom Holland hugs the two of them, and just says like thank you, it felt like more than a scene in a movie. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like he was genuinely thanking like Tobey Maguire and
Oh,
Andrew
yeah,
Garfield.
yeah.
Like there was like that aspect to that. And then the scene with MJ at the very end is really good too,
Mhm.
when he's like saying he's not.
They
gonna be
were
there.
really good in this movie. Him and MJ. They were.
Yeah.
This was probably my favorite, and I think the
It's
best
the
Mary
least
Jane.
that she has seemed like the character that she was in Homecoming.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
she's very different
Different.
now, but I'm not necessarily mad about it either. Here's another fun review: 3 stars. It was slow for a while and nothing special about the finale, but Marvel seems to be falling by the waist side, WAISTSIDE, lately, like the rest of the world.
Oh my god!
I feel they could have done so much better with it.
it
Like
doesn't
what?
get better than
I
that.
have
Is
no
there?
idea.
Can you reply to that person? Be like,
I
what would
could,
you have
but
done?
what's the waist side?
slow for a while. Daredevil shows up in the first like 15 minutes.
This movie, so
Yeah,
that
but
was one of the
He catches a
things.
brick.
That was one of the things Marvel and I had talked about prior to the movie was that he's like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with him having to like this legal stuff like for
Yeah, they
like
just
the
kinda
first
did
half
away
hour
with
of the
it.
movie." And I was like, "They did that in 10 minutes."
Yeah,
I did like that agent. He was funny to me.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking to
It's like
Ned.
Ned, yeah.
Oh, I
Ned,
got,
yeah.
I got a bunch of guys.
I also
in the
wanted to
chair.
punch him in the face. He just weird. He had a weird face.
He does have a weird. face.
But
Yeah, damage
speaking-
control is cool though. I like that.
They,
Damage
yeah,
control is
they
like-
were cool.
It's almost like Shield-esque now.
So, kind of speaking off of that reviewer, they think they could have done much
You
better.
want another good review before you get into this?
Sure.
2 stars. The movie was better than Infinity War and Endgame combined. It was much better than written and executed. It is one of the best movies I've ever seen with a thoroughly thought out plot, dialogue, and jaw dropping special effects. They gave him 2 stars. as I read all this. However,
They have
if
high
you're
standards.
not a diehard Spider-Man fan, I simply couldn't get into the movie. I don't know what the fuck this person is talking about.
this is the
Is he not a Spider-Man fan?
I have no idea.
it's like,
what
this is the
No.
best worst movie I've ever seen.
I loved it, but I hate it.
But going off that first, the review prior to that, do you think that from this point on, a Spider-Man movie can get bigger than this? Not be better, like because there's a lot of story to tell, and at the end of the movie, his origin story is finally over. He's fully Spider-Man. He's not Iron Man Jr. anymore. Peter's alone, which is heartbreaking, because the spell obviously makes everybody forget who he is, that he never existed. But from just what we've had going forward, do you think there's any way that a Spider-Man movie gets bigger than this?
Sony's gonna try. It's gonna be Morbius, Vulture, Venom.
Well, they
Like-
did have Craven in the sky
Yes.
when like
Let's see one of them. Okay.
the
I saw
multiverse.
Rhino. That was it.
Rhino, Craven,
Scorpion.
Scorpion were the 3 that I saw.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
Today I
Okay.
was just looking. Like today, I saw
Yeah.
Craven on Thursday. Today I was just looking to see who else I could see.
Well, yeah. My problem with the Morbius movie, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. There's a Toby Maguire Spider-Man picture on the wall. It says murderer, and then the vulture's in it. I have no idea where that takes place. But I know you said they're going to try, but do you think a Spider-Man movie can get bigger than this? A sole Spider-Man movie?
What do you mean by bigger though? What's
Like, do you
your-
think there would be, because we will judge things by better in terms of like, this was a really great Spider-Man movie. This was just a really great event. Like, this was a spectacle. Like, shit, the fact that all 3 of them were in one movie together, like, that'll never happen again. There's no other opportunity currently where we would see that, unless they're like a movie where like all 3 Batmans were together or something. But do you think like in terms of, I'm not saying stakes, but just in terms of hype level and like it's on the level of Infinity War and Endgame.
They
so
would
it's the
have
box
to do
office.
the same thing. they would have to set up like a Sinister Six over the course
Yeah,
of
well-
multiple movies,
Yeah. I guess yes.
and then that's the way that they could do it. But I just don't.
I think
they would.
Spider-Man's gonna garner extra attention because he is popular. I mean, even those Andrew Garfield movies, like as much as I disliked the first one, I was excited for the second one, and then I saw it and I was like, "Ugh." But like any Spider-Man movie is gonna get me excited. But it's the execution. Like now we have, I think, like you said, we finally have Spider-Man. Like we have loner, sad Spider-Man, which he kind of is. Like Spider-Man always is kind of this
Down on his
heartbreaking
luck.
character, yeah, who's just like trying to get by. So I'm curious what's next without them ruining it, because I don't care about Venom. I just don't. I know
Well,
everyone's jerking their dicks trying to get Venom, and I don't need Venom. He has so many interesting characters, and Venom is the least interesting to me.
yeah. Shane and Bob, do you think just the Sinister Six?
I
thing,
think
you
yeah, they'd have to. It'd almost be
That'd
like
be-
an Avengers
that'd
type
be awesome.
situation where they'll have to set it up over the course of movies. But then the other problem with that is kind of what Marvel just said. It's like execution. Like Tom Holland is good, but if Feige doesn't have his finger in it, like if Sony is just taking it for themselves, are the movies going to be as good?
Sure. Which that was a fear I had. with-
Yeah, Sony's just going to keep pushing Venom because Sony thinks that's what everyone wants to see.
Well, that's why I was confused. So it's known knowledge now that Feige has come out and said we are actively developing Spider-Man 4. Amy Pascal says we're working on 4, 5, and 6. They're working together. He said fans went through like a turmoil with Far From Home, like because they split after that deal. So they are working together, which concerned me because at the end of the movie you always see Spider-Man will return. Instead, we got the Doctor Strange teaser and got Doctor Strange will return. I was very confused with the Venom end credit scene because that was the end credit scene for Venom 2. Tom Hardy comes into the world and then he disappears. But they leave the Venom behind. But I thought that Sony would be setting up, and Feige said, Hardy's such a beloved Venom at this point
Ugh.
by the audience that they would use him, and they actively decided not to use him, which made it kind of like, why even fucking? But just like, I don't know. So that in itself concerned me because the way that this movie ended,
Well, I mean, it
is a
doesn't make
clean
sense for him to
break.
be there. So maybe it's just a matter of like
it was just their way of getting Venom. Like the
Venom's
Venom-
now here,
Yeah.
and then that symbiote, whatever that little piece
Yeah.
goes and finds Eddie Brock, and it's still Tom Hardy, and it's still, you know
Oh,
what I mean?
maybe.
And like,
So I hope it's
just-
a different
'cause it's-
version.
if for Tom Hardy to still be here when everybody else got sent back doesn't make sense. And now it makes sense as to why Tom Hardy was here because
Venom.
those people
stuff.
got pulled through, and he would know
Yeah,
who
that-
Peter Parker.
That does make
is.
maybe that is like a sneaky way of them recasting Venom.
Oh, absolutely. I
for
thought
future
that.
movies.
I
I
thought
think
that
the
too.
MC
But if you're saying the MCU wants Tom, or
No,
Kevin
I-
Feige said he wanted Tom,
I think
Hardy.
he was just saying that because that end credit scene was already out while they're doing promotion.
Okay.
I don't think they want him. I don't think
I don't
Feige
think, I
would
think
want
they
him.
want to.
I hope it goes. I hope it attaches to Matt Gargan because that's like a loose end that is they haven't even touched since the first movie with the Scorpion,
Oh yeah, he's been
and
Same
he's
thing.
gotten a symbiote at some point in the comic. So just make a Venom lizard hybrid.
but the reason I was concerned is because the way the movie ends, it's their way to be able to clean break from the
Mhm.
MCU. Peter Parker's washed from everybody's memory. So then when that happened, I was like, oh shit. And then the
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, but then they came out and said it. So that made me happy. But I think I agree with Bob. The only way to get bigger than this is probably
So
develop
do
a
you think the
Sinister
next
Six.
Spider-Man movie is more character, like him trying to like MJ and Ned and stuff like
Yeah,
that? Or you
sad,
think he
sad
leaves them?
Spider-Man. I
Mhm.
need
Say,
sad
do you think
Spider-Man.
he doesn't even go back to them?
I-
Sticks with.
I don't
the
think they'll
idea?
bring them in. I think
Uh,
Sony will try to move away from them.
It's possible. It is because their contracts are up too, and they've
Mhm.
approached it like it's the end.
Maybe he'll meet Gwen or something.
it's
Yeah,
possible
Bring
he
in
can meet Gwen, or
love interest.
or he could because the way that movie ended with them, she kind of gave him this look like,
She,
wait,
like, I know that person from somewhere type thing.
or
Yeah.
he could just start to get to know her again.
Yeah,
even though
that's what I'm
she's
saying, like,
leaving.
I
rebuilding
actually
that
kind of
relationship.
like the way they ended it because the main criticism of MCU Spider-Man is like Iron Man daddy.
Mhm.
He just gives
Yeah,
him whatever he
Iron Boy
wants.
Junior. Yeah,
Yeah, and Spider-Man is supposed to be like poor and struggling and
yeah,
all this.
and that's what he is. And
that's
he's
what he is now.
completely
Like,
alone, which
He
is
made his own suit, which I liked seeing him do.
which I
that.
think he still wears the mask. that like he had, because I like the emoting eyes. I think that's
Yeah.
a really cool feature of these movies that everybody likes. But want to see a weird ass thing? This is somebody combined Zendaya, Emma Stone, and Kirsten Dunst. And that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's weird.
Strange.
Wow.
Just
Oh
throw
my
it.
goodness.
Just throw it. He hated it so much he chucked it at the wall.
Okay. Yeah, I hate that.
But yes, because those suits alone, apparently somebody did the math, and his suit would have cost $16 million to make.
The first one in Civil War.
IGN.
Wow, what fucking math are they? That's dumb. They're dumb.
Wait,
So
that first suit from Civil War.
his like suit. They're like,
Yeah, like how do they know how much that shit costs though?
I don't know.
It's all fake in a fucking movie. They're
That's what was
losers.
interesting though. 16 million. So
Sorry.
I shared the
Fucking
box
dumb. I don't
office
like. I'm
numbers.
sorry. Marvel's like hysterically laughing. I got so mad.
Because it is nonsense.
It is. No, it is. It is. I just thought it was
It's
interesting.
like
how
Star
much
Trek
it-
technology, $8 million. It's like, what?
But I really liked how it ended. Was there anything that actually surprised you guys?
Somebody had to die, but I wasn't expecting Aunt May
Oh,
until
yeah,
it was
yeah.
happening, and then I was like, "Oh shit, she's gonna die."
Did Andrew Garfield's Aunt May die?
No.
No. Okay. Because I
But
was
he
kind
didn't-
of
he
thinking
didn't have an Uncle Ben, and I was like, "Ah, shit, somebody's gonna have to die."
Somebody
And she-
had to die.
And then, like when she got hit, I was like, "Oh, she's dead."
She
And then
got
she was
broken
talking.
half.
I was like, "Oh, she's not dead."
But she got mowed over by a glider. There was
Yeah.
no part of me that thought she was going to be okay.
No,
So-
she got up.
I thought it was kind of funny. Tobey Maguire, he's like, guys, it's fine. I've been stabbed before.
So I actually thought during the movie, I was like, I think Toby's gonna die. I
oh
think
my
it's gonna-
god!
I thought he was dead when he got stabbed,
So
and
did
then
I.
he just got up. That scene is very funny.
Yeah.
Shanks was laughing at that too. When he's just like, "You're just in a lot of pain, aren't you?" He's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
But the amount of fan service, I think they would have been afraid
He
of the
was-
backlash of killing him.
He was
But you would've killed-
impossible to get in the movie. Apparently, like
He didn't
But
wanna
he didn't
do
want
it.
to do it.
now. So I'm very curious to see how much he got paid.
Because he like seemed like
Ask IGN how
He
much he
seemed
got.
great. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did his
Does
job.
IGN know how much he got paid?
16 million for him.
well, that you could figure out because that's a real fucking statistic that exists. Not how much this fake Stark Industries material costs in this fake fucking world. Fuck you, IGN.
So anything else to add? Really, you guys, if by this point, have probably listened to a bunch of videos and seen things. These are just sort of general reactions to the movie.
My big gripe that you and I talked about. If the spell pulled in people who knew Peter Parker, Electro clearly
Yeah,
didn't
that's
know
what you
Peter
said.
Parker was Spider-Man. And Venom too. Like there's no reason for Venom.
So
to get
the
pulled in.
reason I heard Venom, because Venom's a hive mind, and because he's getting ready to tell about Peter Parker, but Toby's Peter Parker. That's what I heard. I don't give a shit because I'm glad he's
Yeah, I
gone
know.
and he wasn't a part of the movie. Electro is interesting though. He did know who Peter was, and then makes that comment about the Black Spider-Man. So I thought Miles may show up in the end credit scene.
But that's the only reason they did that though. just to
Yeah.
pull him in to be like, oh, Black Spider-Man.
Maybe
But, and how to get hair and teeth.
Was he like?
he had like weird hair. He had like really
He's like a
buck
coma.
teeth.
Oh,
I know, no,
Yeah,
but like,
that's what
they
they
didn't
mentioned
really,
that.
they never really explain how he looks
No,
different though.
Lizard
Nope,
says
they
it.
don't need
They
to.
He
don't
says you got a
explain it.
makeover. They call it.
Yeah.
Well,
He becomes like pure energy, doesn't he? At one point.
yeah. he's
So
just
is it?
better.
Did he like
That's how he dies.
form his new body or something?
like when
Are they
he
trying to say
when
that?
he shows up, he's pure energy. I
says.
think, and then because he says, yeah, he's like, "Oh, I got my body back."
Yeah,
So are they trying to say that he formed his own
I
body
think so.
and
It's
he made
kinda-
himself look
He's
the way he
sexy.
wanted to look?
I
Yeah.
guess so. Yeah.
They threw it.
I-
They threw in the typical MCU shirtless hunk
Yep.
with him.
You got
He
him.
was hunky.
I
That's the
did
other time when I went to
enjoy.
the bathroom today, but
There-
for different reasons.
There were a few great like villain lines when Osborn said like I'm something of
Mm-hmm.
a scientist myself. That fucking made me laugh out loud.
Everybody
But-
that I've talked to has loved that scene.
Doc
Yeah.
Ock screaming, "I'm tired of your questions."
Yeah.
Boy, it was great.
I like.
That all the villains were great, but when for some reason when the lizard's like, I could give you a makeover, and he's like, let me guess, a lizard. He's like, yeah. Like, that made me laugh.
I like when
don't
he
know
was like,
why.
yeah, tried to turn the whole city into lizards. It was weird. Or like he says like some weird shit like that. I did enjoy that. The thing I think that surprised me actually the most was Ock turning good. That and like getting fixed and being
Yeah,
good.
I
He was
really-
awesome. I love
I
that.
really thought at the end
Doc
when
Ock was
he
awesome.
grabbed that. What was it like the power converter that was supposed to drain
Yeah.
Electro? I really thought they were pulling a fast one on us. Like, oh, he's bad now. Like
Yeah.
you should have seen it coming.
That
I
worked.
didn't
think they
expect him to
electrocuted
actually be good.
It fits his character.
He got electrocuted, so you would think it would be like, oh, it
Yeah,
got
again. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe it fried the new chip or something.
Mhm.
But how about
Ugh.
Sandman? What the fuck was Sandman's deal?
Yeah.
Like,
He wanted the box to go back home,
Yeah,
But
he just
then
wanted to
just-
see his daughter or something.
but he was helping Electro.
Well, because
Yeah,
he
like-
made out fine at the end, didn't he? He didn't die.
They cured him.
Nah, he didn't die.
No,
no, it's
Toby just lets him
Oh,
like
yeah,
evaporate
yeah,
and go
yeah.
away.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, sorry, I killed your Uncle Ben. He's like, all right, and they just
He's like,
disappears.
it was an accident.
That's Toby though.
Yeah, then he just lets him go. He like got his redemption already.
Yeah.
Does
I really
Lizard die? I don't remember if he dies.
Who?
Does the lizard die?
Yes.
Yeah, the lizard dies.
He
He
does.
gets cured first.
He gets
right?
cured
because
before he
Andrew
dies
Garfield says,
anyway.
like, I did this already.
Doesn't he sacrifice himself? He gets cured, but then
Uh,
he sacrificed himself or something.
I think so.
I
did
want to
watch it.
rewatch those movies now.
Just watch the first one.
Yeah, that was funny too. When Andrew Garfield, he's like, yeah, I got it. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's like, it's whatever.
He was really great. They all the Spider-Man were great.
That's
really loved
the other thing I did like is that they showed how smart the three of them are.
it. Mhm.
Like how Toby or not Toby Maguire, what's his name, was like a scientist with like chemicals, but they showed Tom Holland was like a geometry mate, like his
Yes.
Yeah.
math
Yeah.
skills, and like I like that they kind of showed they were all different
Yeah.
things.
You
I
you
know
mentioned-
geometry. I like geometry.
You
Yeah.
mentioned favorite scenes. That's one of my favorite when they're all in the laboratory and they're all like
Mhm.
making their
And
cures.
there's like
Mhm.
it's 3Us.
That was a
So
good-
that
I like
movie-
that scene when Ned's talking.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do you have a
Promise.
best friend?" I was like, "Yeah, he died in my arms."
It's truly
After he
heartbreaking.
tried to kill me.
After trying to kill me, and then like walks away.
he's like, I'll never betray you.
That movie is really good up to that point, and then they just show up, and it turns it to 11. It really does.
Yeah, once they were, and like I said, like I didn't need them, but then once they were there, I was like,
It is
"Okay."
shocked how much they're in it.
Yeah.
Because like everyone just kind of thought they were gonna show up at the end. They're supporting cast in that.
They're a good
movie.
part of the movie.
Mhm.
Probably the second half.
I expected them to just be like how Daredevil was, how he's like barely in it.
That's what Marvel just said. Yeah.
Perfect cameo of Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's all I needed of him.
I'm really excited to see.
Well,
it
since
go
we're
forward.
doing spoilers, this episode is being recorded after episode 5 of Hawkeye. And Kingpin just popped in there as
Mhm.
well.
So
Yeah.
speaking of Hawkeye, before I saw it today, my dad's coworker's nephew said you can see the fight scene from the Hawkeye trailer when they're in the ice rink going on when Peter swings over
at the very
at
end.
the very end. You cannot. It's
That's
just people
bullshit.
skating. I paid attention today. I was like, oh, it's convenient, but no, it's not.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, but as we've been saying, Hawkeye's been great. Kingpin
Oh,
showing
really
up
good.
was so cool.
Dude, I'm amazed how much I like that show.
Yeah, it's
So
really good.
Told you guys
So
it
good.
was gonna be
You
great.
did
I
say-
love street level stuff like
Mhm.
in the MCU, but I also love you and I talked about the blip. I love anything with the blip
Mhm.
and how they handle it, and to see like how quick it is for a person who got blipped was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like,
was
I
that was
love
that was the first time we've seen somebody really being
Come
blipped
back.
back, right?
Well,
With
WandaVision.
Yelena?
WandaVision was
the WandaVision
Okay.
Monica Rambeau.
But that was-
hospital madness. That shit was cool. too.
Yeah, but that was cool with Yelena seeing her like she's literally in the
Mhm.
same exact position.
Yep.
That was cool.
That gets a little messy, but it's like people that were in an airplane. They always
Oh,
said
they're
we
dead.
Smart Hulk snapped everybody back safely,
Safely.
but then put the kids in Spider-Man Far From Home right in the middle of a basketball game.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think that's what I want to see from Spider-Man going forward is actually the more street level stuff that
Mhm.
he does so well.
What would you like villain wise? Like if they're gonna do another one, who do you want to see? Or what like anything Spider-Man related? What would you? wanna
I
see?
would have. They're not going to do it, but I would really have loved to have seen the MCU's Doc Ock and Green Goblin, but they're not going to do that. So I don't know who they haven't done. Like they did Mysterio, they did Vulture and Shocker. I don't know.
I
Black
think
Cat.
Mr. Negative
Black
would be
Cat.
cool.
I would.
I want to
love
see an MCU. Black
Mr.
Cat.
Negative would be cool. Black Cat would be cool. Rhino, I guess. to see.
Craven.
Oh, Craven, yeah.
Mhm.
But
That's the big
Sony's
one,
doing
Yeah,
their thing. So I
Yeah.
don't know if we will.
Moreland would be awesome.
Moreland would be cool.
I think we're going to get Venom in the fifth movie.
Ugh.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. But do you guys feel comfortable giving it a rating yet, or no?
What do you mean?
Rated
Like,
as-
out of,
I'm not
rated,
ranking
rated
it
out of
Marvel
10?
Like out of
movies.
just out of 10, or out of
Yeah.
maybe out of Spider-Man. You don't have to give me a ranking, but out of the Spider-Man movies,
Out of the MCU movies?
all of them, just in general. Like I'm not asking you to list them. Just is it top 3 or top
I'd
5?
put top 3 right
Yeah,
now, but
top
that-
3,
that could
may-
change.
Maybe top 2 with Spider-Man 2.
I really love Homecoming.
So do I. That's what I'm saying. That could change
Yeah.
around.
And like that's a great Spider-Man story.
Maybe
so
this one, Spider-Man 2 and Homecoming,
This-
are like top 3, but I don't know the order.
people said like Into the Spider-Verse is the best origin. Spider-Man 2 is the
Oh, I
best
didn't know we were
sequel.
including that.
Spider-Man 3, this Far From No Way Home is the best finale to a trilogy.
I didn't know we were including Into the Spider-Verse because
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
a
top
Spider-Man
3. That's a
movie.
top 3 for me.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse my favorite, so that
I was
can't
gonna
be
say that
top.
moves it down. It might be 4 then, or top 5. I would say for sure,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be. And I haven't watched Spider-Man 2 in a long time. I just know how good it is.
Yeah, it's good.
But I like it'd be Into the Spider-Verse and then probably Homecoming.
It's hard to say, but this was
Well,
a
I like
really fucking good
Far
movie.
From Home too.
Yep, it's a
I like
really
Tom
fucking
Holland.
good. I'm really excited for the next stage of Spider-Man we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get. Like you said, it's the great trilogy,
Well,
great character development for
One
him.
thing we haven't talked about, I texted you about it earlier. They showed a whole trailer for an end credit scene.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
I
Which is
was
really
not
good.
expecting. I was expecting like a little 5-second clip of Strange and Wanda,
But
and they
also-
showed a whole trailer.
I was-
Also, kind of Bush League, because that's going to be on like TV shows and YouTube and stuff like that. Where the end credit scenes, I feel like, are like fun teaser
Mhm.
things.
The only time
Probably
they
the
ever did
first
that
one.
was for the first Avengers, the end of Captain America. They showed like a clip, like it was like a
scene
like
from
a
the
sizzle reel
Avengers,
kind
yeah.
of. But yeah, it's never been done. Maybe they're gonna hold off on it. Maybe I think it's just, hey, all you motherfuckers are here to see Spider-Man. This is what's next.
Like, hey, you
I
like,
think that's kind of
like, hey, you
Yeah.
like multiverses? Check out
This
this.
Strange is next. So we'll see. All right. Anything to plug before we go, guys? Or anything maybe we didn't include that you want to include here?
Plug. Big shout out to Rufino again.
Yep,
Uh,
absolutely.
Got us the early tickets, so that benefited every one of us. But Shane,
Yeah.
just timing wise, he didn't think he was gonna.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to go to work, so I couldn't see the late
Yeah.
show, and then I ended up not having work.
Senators took off as national
Yeah.
holiday.
And it was Spider-Man Day, so they
Spider-Man
all
Day.
took off.
Marvel,
He actually
anything?
signed that law in
Sorry, signed it into law.
the day before.
Marvel, anything to add before we go? Anything to plug?
Gateway gamers always, but also Witcher season 2, fantastic.
Yeah,
I've only
I
watched
forgot
the
that
first
came out.
episode.
I haven't watched
Have
it
you-
yet.
How far are you, Marvel?
I think I have 2 episodes left.
Might start
Okay.
that. Probably start that tomorrow.
I watched the first episode.
And another random show I found, was it Reservation Dogs?
Oh, that's
Oh,
on
sorry,
FX,
yeah.
right?
I watched the first episode, I loved it.
It looks
It's
really
a
funny. What I forget what I
Taika
watched.
Waititi joint. Taka Waititi is a producer
Taika
on it.
Waititi.
I watched something and that was always an advertisement, but I
Hmm.
never actually watched it. Dave, maybe when I was watching Dave because it was
Probably.
FX.
Mm.
Can we
Yeah, I watched
plug
first
the?
episode. I was into it.
Can we plug the Always Sunny podcast?
Sure.
And also season 15 of Always Sunny.
Yeah, it's been great.
Fucking good.
That's
Mhm.
probably it's over by this point.
I'm working my way through season
I
3
like
of It's Always Sunny.
I like that they're releasing 2 episodes at a time this
It's kind of
season.
surprising.
But then it's done so quickly. So it's
Yeah,
like
that's why it's 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll just plug Gateway Gamers as always, and I've been watching Sons of Anarchy. It's been really good.
That's a fantastic show.
And if you haven't, go see Spider-Man and get
Mhm.
ready for.
If
Well,
you made
hold
it
on,
this
if you
far
made
into the
it this
podcast
far-
and you haven't seen it, then you're an absolute
idiot.
people like
You're
me.
proud.
though.
You're probably Bob's brother Brian. What are you fucking doing?
I think by the time this is out, he'll probably have seen it. He just doesn't. He has to get.
I just know he likes to listen to our stuff without
He
seeing.
does.
Happy New Year to everyone. This is our first episode of the new year. And I would like to congratulate Previously Recorded for making it an entire year without missing an episode. We had an episode out every
Every 2 weeks.
single 2 weeks.
Well,
we
I-
are the,
I-
we're
I
the
missed-
king of episodes.
Yes.
I missed a few episodes.
Yeah, that doesn't
that's-
matter if it was
that's
a
for
mini
work-
episode.
For work
Good
work
jobs.
purposes. Can I give an anti shout out to your brother-in-law Brian
Why?
because he's still pushing for
Dude,
Recordiacs,
when you
and that
went-
is
when
not
you
a
went
thing.
Dark.
Uh-huh.
That's not a thing.
Yeah,
I went
not happening.
I went dark and he tried to make it Recordiacs a thing. We went dark on social media.
Yeah, he's like,
We can
don't
go- we
reply
can-
to this in a half hour if
fans
you're
could
if
be the-
Recordiacs
they
is
could
a
be
thing.
The kings of the fans of previously
The
recorded.
kings- the kings might work.
The kings of
Um,
To all you
podcasting.
kings out there.
So-
all you kings of listening.
There you go. Yeah,
well-
anti shout out to Brian.
Yeah, no last
No
names.
last names.
Not his real last name.
It's close enough.
Close enough. So yeah, thank you guys for all listening to all those episodes we put out all year. It's not easy to either get together or just
Shout
get
out
one
to
together.
Jack Monterey too.
Jack Monterey, baby. All right, thanks for listening and have a good one.
I'm so high, I can hear heaven. Oh, but heaven, no heaven, don't hear me. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I'll hold How can that be? Look what love gave us. A world full of killing and blood spilling. That world never came. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I'll hold on to the wings of the eagles. Watch as we all fly away. Now that the world isn't ending, it's love that I'm sending to you. It isn't the love of a hero, and that's why I fear it won't do. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I'll hold on to the wings of the eagles. Watch as we all fly away. And they're watching us. They're watching us as we all fly away. And they're watching us. They're watching